Chris Parsons from the Happy Healthy Marriage Reset. And I've got an idea for something I wanted to do. This is my first time trying it. So let me know, give me feedback, tell me what you think about it. But I have a guilty pleasure that I have to tell you about, and it's rom-coms. I love watching romantic comedies, especially from the 90s and the 2000s. They're funny, they're sweet, they're moving. I really enjoy watching rom-coms, and it's okay. I'm a guy, I could admit it. My favorite rom-com, I didn't think about this beforehand, but I just thought, I should mention it. I think I'm gonna have to go with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That is a classic. I love that movie. I might think of another favorite, but that's what I'm going with for now. And so what I want to do is talk about a rom-com and why they have the problems they have, what's realistic, what's not realistic, what they could have done different, what would work in reality, what wouldn't work, what they did right, what they did wrong. And just seems fun, so why not? So today, the movie I want to start with is The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston, two amazing actors. Both of them have been in so many movies that I love. I love comedies, so both of them amazing at comedy and being in so many great comedy movies. So The Breakup is a story. Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn are boyfriend and girlfriend. They live together, they break up, they end up splitting up. I actually missed the last, I was on a Southwest flight about 2 weeks ago, and they have the free in-movie entertainment, and they had that movie on there, so I watched it, and our plane landed with like 3 minutes left before the credits. And it looks like, I think, the movie was leaving it kind of open-ended about whether they get back together or not. But so the breakup happens because Jennifer Aniston feels like Vince Vaughn doesn't care about her, doesn't value her, and he's always prioritizing himself, playing his video games and doing whatever he wants to do. He doesn't care about anyone else. And there's a particular scene that I love, which is where so the best scene, in my opinion, in the movie is she's got a brother that sings a cappella that comes over to the house and is singing in Vince Vaughn's face and everything. And right after their family leaves, Jennifer Aniston is in the kitchen doing dishes, and she asks him for help, and then she gets upset and she says, "I don't want you to do the dishes. I want you to want to do the dishes." And Vince Vaughn's like, "Why would I want to do dishes? It doesn't make any sense." And it's so true, though, because in a marriage, you don't want somebody to do something because they have to, because you make them. You want them to want to do it. And Jennifer Aniston didn't, in that movie, I don't know about real life, but in that movie, she didn't have the skills of communicating in a way to get Vince Vaughn to want to care, to want to do the dishes with her. Now, maybe he would never actually want to do dishes, but he can want to do the dishes to help her, right? And that's what she really wants, is him to care about how she feels, what she wants, what's important to her. But she didn't communicate it to him. And she ends up getting so frustrated that she breaks up with him. Then Vince Vaughn takes that not as a threat, not as a, this is a serious problem that we need to address, but as a definitive final thing. And he starts acting like they are broken up. But she didn't want to actually break up. She just wanted him to change. Now, I hope you can see the problem, all right? What she said isn't what she actually wanted. And she unknowingly, not on purpose, but she misled him. She drew him to the wrong conclusion. So then Jennifer Aniston is trying to get him back. One of the ways that she does that is she starts dating other guys and bringing them to the apartment and walking around naked and doing things to make him jealous. It doesn't work. He doesn't seem jealous. Actually, making your spouse jealous, not that I'm suggesting you do it the way that she did it, but a little jealousy can be very effective, and it doesn't have to look like what you might assume, right? I'm not telling you to go out there and start dating. So I had a client, he was separated from his wife, and we talked through this idea, and he had 2 young daughters. And I said, why don't you take your daughters out on dates, dress up real nice, bring them a flower, bring the, he was living separate from his wife. I said, go take your daughters on dates, like a real special evening. And sure enough, his wife was jealous. She's like, you never dressed up this nice to bring me anywhere. And he was like, well, let's do it then. They ended up getting back together, and she asked him to move back in, which is important. Anyway, so Jennifer Aniston is trying to make him jealous, trying to punish him and make him suffer, which of course pushes him further and further away, right? Punishing people does not work. If you try to punish your spouse, you're only going to make them more resentful. That's where Vince Vaughn was stuck. He was very bitter and resentful. And so what changed everything, what got Vince Vaughn to actually look in the mirror and say, gosh, what am I doing and how is this affecting other people, was when he saw Jennifer Aniston crying on the bed, and he realized she was not what she was pretending. She was hurt and upset. And that's what he cared about. He cared about her feelings, but she wasn't showing her feelings. And so when she was sincere, and she wasn't doing it on purpose, she walked in, she just was upset, and he happened to see her. But when she had that moment of sincerity, that's what brought Vince Vaughn to actually look in the mirror and to say, what am I doing? How is this affecting my girlfriend? Gosh, I feel bad. And then he looked around his life and realized, he was being selfish and he wasn't valuing anybody else or anyone else. And he was the one suffering. Yeah, he got to play his video games and he got to do whatever he wanted. But he didn't have the joy, the connection, or the fulfillment that he wanted in his life. And then he started making changes, started caring more about doing the extra work that he needed to do for work, etc. And then at the end of the movie, like I said, I missed the last couple minutes, but, it's setting it up so that obviously it's showing he is much happier, in a much healthier place. And then there's the potential, I don't know if it shows what happens, but there's the potential for them to reconnect, to be happy again together. So that is Learning Love from Romantic Comedies. I want to hear more. Tell me what movies you'd want me to analyze next. I love Couples Retreat. Gosh, I started thinking through, and I could think of at least 15 different movies that I would want to go through and show this analysis for. If you got something out of this, like, comment, let me know.